Here I am, growing up in the island of Jamaica, always wanted the home, the perfect life, a marriage, and children. Got married, living with my husband, kids, Fort Lauderdale, having the home that I desired. But what was missing was that it wasn't the perfect home. There was rejection. I dealt with rejection in the marriage. I was being rejected. I didn't have the intimacy that I wanted, that I thought I should have. I didn't have the communication. I didn't have the date nights that I desired so much. And I did not have the deep conversations that I longed for. Marriage was not a bed of roses. It wasn't a fairy tale that I thought it was. And so that's why I do what I do right now. I'm here because I went through the disappointment. I went through the lack of intimacy. I've dealt with the rejection, the abandonment. I've dealt with the feeling that there's something missing, carrying the mental load of the relationship without the partnership. And I want to help wives who are in the same situation heal. I want to help them restore. And I want to help them to build and maintain a strong, healthy marriage. Because if I can do it, you can. What makes me great is the fact that I'm here today, loving the way I love, laughing the way I laugh, showing up the way I show up, and support the way I support. In spite of all that I went through, I'm still here. And if I can do it, surely you can do it as well. I was suicidal. Man, how did I get there? I remember my friend Michelle, we met at church. We went to the same church, and she was like a spiritual mother to me. I remember she was going through some issues in her marriage, and I was there talking to her, and I didn't know I would go through the same thing. I was in a marriage, and I'd lost myself completely. I lost my sense of self, my identity. I lost my self-esteem. I lost who I was as a person. I didn't know how to get back to me. I wanted to take my own life. How did I get here? I didn't know. I remember talking to Michelle and saying, Michelle, I don't like the way I feel. Every time I look around, all I could see was dark tunnel. And the light was at the end, but I couldn't get there. I was so far from it. And she would talk to me and say, Doreika, you're going to be okay. Doreika, you're going to get through this. I'm here for you. You can talk to me. You can call me anytime you want. You don't have to be strong. You don't have to pretend like you have it all together. And I had my 2 young girls, my 2 young babies, depending on me, looking to a mom, you know, to provide and to give mental and emotional support. And I was depleted. I couldn't give them the support and the love that they needed because all I felt was hurt and pain. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how I was going to get from there. I didn't know if I could get to the end of that tunnel. I did not know. This was one of the lowest moments and points in my life. I'm surprised that I was able to get to the next day. I would cry days at a time. I would drive to work and just cry for no reason. I would lay in bed and just cry for no reason. My kids would look at me and say, Mommy, what's wrong? And I would just cry for no reason. I couldn't explain it to them, but I was feeling it. It was deep. That's where I was. Depression. Me. Who would have thought? I didn't. You know when you have this gut feeling that something is off in your marriage or something is not where it should be? I had that gut feeling. I've had it for a while, but I just couldn't explain what it was. But I felt like something was going on with my husband. And one day he said, Doreika, he actually flew in because he was working elsewhere, and he came in and said, I need to talk to you. I said, okay. He sat me down on the couch. He was sitting next to me, and he said, I have something to say to you. For majority of the time we've been married, I was unfaithful. That was a hard news for me to hear, but I listened. Infidelity. Not just any infidelity. This is infidelity, the kind of infidelity that brings in a child, a baby that wasn't mine, in the marriage. And I had to deal with that. One of the hard lessons that I had to learn is forgiveness. I had to learn to release the bitterness and the anger that came with hearing such a news and forgive. I had to forgive my husband. Forgiveness at that point was a choice I had to make. And it wasn't for him, because, you know, we forgive because we think it's for the other person. It's not. Forgiveness is for you. It's almost like you're drinking poison expecting somebody else to die. That's what forgiveness, holding on to unforgiveness does, and bitterness. I had to release that anger, the pain that came with that, and forgive him because I wanted to live. I could not hold him up in my heart and expect to have a good life, expect to feel joy, expect to feel happy, expect to feel peace. It wasn't happening. And so it's a choice that I had to make. And every day I had to choose to forgive. When I saw him, I had to forgive him again. When I saw the child, I had to forgive him again. When I held the child, I had to forgive him again. When the child came, I had to forgive him again. When I spoke to the mother, I had to forgive him again. All of that, daily choice. Forgiveness is a blessing. It's for you. It's a gift. Embrace it. If I can go back and talk to my 21-year-old self, this is what I will tell her. Your identity is not in your marriage or what you do. Your life is not defined by the roles you play. It's not about what you're doing at the moment or what you have at the time. You are more than that. You do not have to create a framework or live in a box that you think you should live in. You don't have to look for something outside of yourself to define who you are. And if it's not the way you think it should be, then something is missing. You are more than that. When that thing goes, you're still who you are. When that role fades, you're still who you are. When the people walk out of your life that you thought would be there all the time, you're still who you are. When things change, when transition, when seasons change, because it's going to happen. We're in life. We're going to have transition. We're going to have seasons. We're going to have ups and downs. None of that is your identity. Your job, being a wife, being a mother, being a career person, being a boss, whatever it is, it does not define who you are. It is not what you're made of. And what I will tell myself is that, you know what? You're stronger than you think. You are stronger than you think. You're not gonna break. Yes, you're gonna have hard times. Yes, the challenges will come. Yes, you will face difficulties. Yes, you'll deal with pain. Yes, you'll deal with hurt. Yes, you'll deal with rejection. But you will not break. You are stronger than you think. There's a big problem in the world today. We have a lot of women in their marriages that are unhappy. They feel emotionally disconnected from their husbands. They're carrying the load of a marriage without the partnership of the marriage. They feel a lack of intimacy. There's no date nights. There's no deep conversation. They're missing the spiritual connection. They're worried that if things stay the same way, they don't know what's going to happen with their marriage. And they feel broken. They want a safe space to be vulnerable. They want a safe space to share what they're going through. They want support. They want help. And they want to be healed. So that's what I'm doing. I'm putting together a community. It's the Balanced Wife Collective. It's a group of women coming together on a monthly basis. We foster that healing. We provide support, the resources, the tools, prayer, and sisterhood. Sisterhood for them to be healed, to be restored, to know that they're not in it alone, to know that they're not the only ones going through this. Other people are experiencing the same thing. And together, we can do it. Together, we can heal. Together, we can be good. Because I was there. I've been there. I know what it feels like. And so I want to help them. And this community, you're being nurtured. Not just a one time and done. This is a daily, weekly, monthly thing. I want to connect with you. I want you to connect with me. I want to support you, and I want us to do this together. Women are facing challenges right now in the world. The challenge is that they're in a marriage and they need help, they need support. But they cannot find somebody that they could trust. They're sharing their secrets, they're being vulnerable, they're opening themselves up. And it's hard for them to find somebody who's not going to tell their secrets, who's not going to talk about them behind their back, who's not going to judge them. They don't want to leave or feeling or knowing that this person is going to somehow take their most intimate, private experiences in their marriage and blast it on social media somewhere, or let it be the joke of a friend circle somewhere. And I remember one of my friends who was going through some similar situations. Her name was Tiffany. She was going through a separation with her husband. And she came to me because she knew I could help her. She knew I knew what she was going through. And she just needed a listening ear. She spoke to me about her challenges, her pain. She poured her heart out to me. She let me know how she was dealing with the pain, the hurt of the separation. And I was there to help, to listen, but also to give help, support, resources, hold her hand, guide her through her most challenging moments. And that's what I bring. That's why people work with me. That's why people work with Doreika Carter. Because I'm a safe space. I'm a place where they can come, they could tell me what's going on, they could be vulnerable, they can be open, and they feel safe. Their information is secure. They could trust me because I've been in their shoe. I know what it is like to feel vulnerable. I know what it is like to feel fear of being judged for whatever it is you may be dealing with. The feeling like you are somehow the blame and feeling like there's no one to turn to. That's why they work with me. Because I'm that place where they can be themselves, where they can heal and grow, and where they can be the best version of themselves they can be. I enjoyed this experience from the very beginning. I enjoy walking in the room and being greeted with a warm welcome, smiles. I enjoy the service, getting my makeup professionally done. I enjoy having somebody to talk to. I enjoy the team. I'm working one of the best teams in this industry. And I want to work with the best, and they are the best. I enjoy them coming in and dancing and just feeling like I got this. And if I didn't feel like I didn't have it, the support they gave me made me feel this way. And so I love it, and I would do it again. They're my team, honey. Anything I do, they're my team. Yes.